Jake and Lyra's combined power shot up from the underground chamber like a bolt of pure energy. It pierced through rock, through soil, through the atmosphere itself. Above the planet, the first planet-killer missile was seconds from impact. But Jake and Lyra's energy hit it like an invisible fist. The missile exploded in a ball of fire that lit up the sky. "It's working," Jake shouted. Their power reached out further, touching each of the remaining missiles. One by one, they exploded harmlessly in space. Bright flowers of destruction bloomed across the dark sky. But General Vex had launched 50 missiles. Jake and Lyra had only stopped 10. "We need more power," Lyra said. Her face was strained with effort. Jake felt their strength failing. Sharing his life force had made them both weaker. They couldn't stop all the missiles. Behind them, Admiral Stone's soldiers burst into the chamber. "Surrender now," Stone commanded. Jake and Lyra ignored him. They poured everything they had into their attack. 20 missiles exploded, then 30, then 40, but 10 missiles were still falling, and Jake and Lyra had no power left. "We failed," Jake said quietly. Lyra squeezed his hand. "No, we tried together. That's all anyone can do." The 10 remaining missiles screamed toward the planet's surface, then something impossible happened. Jake felt new energy flowing into his body. Not from the machine, not from Lyra, from somewhere else. "What's happening?" he asked. Lyra's eyes went wide. "Look," she whispered. Through the chamber's entrance, Jake saw lights. Not the harsh white lights of Guardian soldiers, soft purple lights. Dozens of them. The lights moved closer. Jake realized they were people. People with glowing purple eyes just like Lyra. "The Shadow Clan," Lyra breathed. "But how? They're all supposed to be dead." An old woman stepped forward. She had long silver hair and ancient purple eyes. "Not all of us died, child," she said to Lyra. "Some of us hid. Some of us waited." Elder Nara. Lyra couldn't believe what she was seeing. "We felt the life bond activate," Elder Nara said. "We came to help our last daughter save the galaxy." The Shadow Clan members placed their hands on Jake and Lyra. Immediately, Jake felt their life force flowing into him. Pure, clean energy that made him stronger than ever before. "Together," Elder Nara said. "All of us together." Jake and Lyra reached out again with their minds. Now they had the power of 50 Shadow Clan members behind them. The energy was incredible. The last 10 missiles exploded like fireworks in the sky, but they weren't finished yet. Jake turned his power toward General Vex's fleet. 1,000 ships hung in space like angry metal birds. "General Vex," Jake said into his communicator. "This is Guardian Turner. Surrender now." Vex's voice crackled back. "Never. If I cannot have revenge, I will have destruction." Vex ordered his ships to fire everything they had at the planet. Jake and Lyra, powered by the Shadow Clan, reached out together. They grabbed each enemy ship with invisible hands of pure energy. One by one, they crushed the weapon systems. Then the engines. Then the life support. They didn't kill the crews. They just made the ships unable to fight. In 10 minutes, General Vex's entire fleet was floating helplessly in space. "Impossible," Admiral Stone whispered. He was still standing behind them with his soldiers. Jake stood up from the machine. He felt more powerful than any Guardian in history. The Shadow Clan's energy flowed through him like a river of stars. "Admiral Stone," Jake said, "you're under arrest for treason, murder, and crimes against innocent people." Stone laughed bitterly. "You can't arrest me. I am the Guardian Corps. I am the law." "Not anymore," Jake said. With a thought, Jake disabled all the weapons in the chamber. Stone's soldiers found their guns turning to harmless metal in their hands. "The galaxy will know the truth," Jake said. "About you, about the fake wars, about everything." Stone's face went pale. "They'll never believe you." "They'll believe us," said a new voice from the tunnel. Jake turned to see General Vex himself walking into the chamber. But he wasn't wearing his battle armor. His hands were empty. His face looked tired and old. "General," Jake said, confused. 20 years, Vex said quietly. 20 years I believed Stone's lies. 20 years I hurt innocent people because I thought I was getting justice for my family. Vex looked at Admiral Stone with hate in his eyes. "But you never cared about justice. You just used my pain to make yourself more powerful." "Vex, don't listen to him," Stone said desperately. Remember your wife, your children. I remember them, Vex said. And I remember that they would be ashamed of what I became. Vex turned to Jake. Guardian Turner, I surrender myself to you. I will testify about Admiral Stone's crimes. I will spend the rest of my life trying to make up for the evil I have done. Jake felt the hate he had carried for Vex melting away. This was not a monster. This was a broken man who had been used by the real villain. We'll find a way to make things right, Jake said. 6 months later, Jake stood on the observation deck of his new ship. Through the window, he could see the rebuilt Guardian Academy. Young people from 100 different planets were training to become the new generation of Guardians. Admiral Stone was in prison. General Vex was helping to rebuild the planets he had damaged. The corrupt Guardian leaders had been removed. Jake felt arms wrap around him from behind. He smiled and leaned back against Lyra. The new recruits look good, she said. They do, Jake agreed. And they're learning the right way, to protect people, not to control them. Lyra moved to stand beside him. She was wearing a Guardian uniform now with a special symbol that marked her as a Shadow Clan protector. Any regrets? She asked. Jake thought about it. His old life was gone. His old friends were dead. But he had new friends now. New purpose. And Lyra. Only one regret, he said. What's that? Jake smiled and pulled her closer. I regret that it took so long for me to realize that the best way to guard the galaxy is to have someone guard your heart. Lyra laughed. That's very romantic for a Guardian. I learned from the best, Jake said. He kissed her softly. In Lyra's arms, they felt a small kick. Jake placed his hand on her growing belly. What do you think? Lyra asked. Boy or girl? Doesn't matter, Jake said, as long as they're healthy. And if they want to be a Guardian when they grow up? Jake looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, new threats would emerge. New people would need protection. But now there would be Guardians ready to help them. Guardians who understood that real strength came not from power, but from love. Then we'll teach them the most important lesson, Jake said. Which is, that guarding the galaxy is important, Jake said. But guarding the people you love is everything. Lyra smiled and rested her head on his shoulder. Outside, the stars shone like promises of tomorrow. Jake stepped in front of Lyra's body. She's already dying. Leave her alone. Step aside, Guardian, Admiral Stone ordered. That's a direct command. Jake didn't move. Something felt wrong about this whole situation. Admiral, how did you get here so fast? Vex's fleet is blocking all space traffic. Admiral Stone's smile disappeared. We have our ways. What ways? Jake pressed. General Vex said someone told him where I was. Someone with inside information. The Guardian soldiers behind Admiral Stone began to look nervous. They raised their weapons slightly. Jake, Admiral Stone said in a warning voice. You're asking dangerous questions. Am I? Jake said. The power from the life bond machine was making his mind sharper. He began to see connections he had missed before. You knew exactly where to find me. You arrived right after the weapon was activated. You want Lyra dead before she can talk. Jake's eyes widened as the truth hit him. You're working with Vex. Admiral Stone laughed. It was a cold, bitter sound. Working with him? Jake, I hired him. Jake felt like he had been punched. What? General Vex has been very useful, Admiral Stone said. He attacks planets, causes fear, makes people beg for Guardian protection. Then we swoop in and save the day. We become heroes. We get more funding, more power, more control. You're using him to create fake emergencies, Jake said with horror. Not fake, Admiral Stone corrected. Very real. People really die, but their deaths serve a greater purpose. They make the galaxy dependent on us. Jake thought about all the battles he had fought, all the people he had saved. How long has this been going on? 20 years, Admiral Stone said proudly. Ever since we destroyed Vex's planet and turned him into our perfect villain. Jake remembered Vex's words about his family dying. You killed his wife and children on purpose. We needed him angry, Admiral Stone said. We needed him motivated. A man seeking revenge is very easy to control. Jake felt sick. The Guardians were supposed to protect innocent people, but Admiral Stone had been using them to maintain power through fear. And my team? Jake asked quietly. Marcus and Sarah, did they find out? Admiral Stone nodded. They were getting too suspicious, asking too many questions, so we arranged for them to have an accident. Jake's hands clenched into fists. His friends had been murdered by their own people. Why are you telling me this? Jake asked. Because Guardians are too powerful, Jake, Admiral Stone said. We're supposed to serve the galaxy, but the galaxy should serve us. We have the weapons. We have the ships. We should be in charge. And you want me to join you? I want you to stop asking questions and follow orders, Admiral Stone said. Hand over the alien and activate the weapon. We'll destroy Vex's fleet and make ourselves look like heroes again. Jake looked at the Guardian soldiers. These were men he had served with, men he had trusted. What if I say no? Jake asked. Admiral Stone's expression turned deadly. Then you'll have an accident too. The Guardian soldiers raised their weapons and pointed them at Jake. Jake realized he was surrounded by enemies wearing the uniforms of friends. Below him, Lyra stirred weakly. Her eyes opened just a crack. Jake, she whispered. Trust no one. Then her eyes closed again. Jake stood alone against 20 armed soldiers, holding the power to destroy a fleet, but surrounded by the very people he had sworn to serve. Jake stood in the chamber surrounded by 20 guns pointed at his chest. Admiral Stone watched him with cold eyes, waiting for an answer. Well, Guardian Turner, Stone said, will you serve the new order, or will you join your friends in death? Jake looked down at Lyra. She was barely breathing, but her purple eyes were open just enough to look at him. Even dying, she was trying to protect him. I have a better idea, Jake said. The power from the life bond machine flowed through his body like lightning. Jake moved faster than any human should be able to move. He grabbed the nearest Guardian soldier and threw him into 3 others. They crashed into the wall hard. The other soldiers opened fire. Jake dodged between the laser blasts like he was dancing. The power made him see everything in slow motion. He could predict where each shot would go before the triggers were pulled. Kill him! Admiral Stone shouted. Jake grabbed a fallen soldier's weapon and fired back. But he aimed carefully. He hit their guns, not their bodies. These men were following orders. They didn't deserve to die. In 30 seconds, all 20 soldiers were on the ground with broken weapons and bruised bodies. None were dead. Admiral Stone backed toward the exit. You can't fight the entire Guardian Corps, Jake. We have thousands of ships. Maybe, Jake said. But first I'm going to stop General Vex. Then I'll deal with you. Stone pulled out a small device and pressed a button. Vex, this is Stone. The Guardian has the weapon. Destroy the planet now. Jake heard Vex's voice through the communicator. With pleasure, Admiral. All ships prepare planet killer missiles. Jake ran to the life bond machine. The power inside him showed him how to use it. He placed his hands on the controls and reached out with his mind. He could feel every ship in Vex's fleet. 1,000 vessels carrying enough firepower to turn the planet into dust. Jake began to focus the weapon's energy. But something was wrong. The power was fading. Jake felt weaker with each second. He looked at Lyra. She was getting paler. The machine had taken her life force to give him power, but she was still alive. As she died, the power died with her. Lyra, Jake said, I need you to fight. Stay alive. Her eyes opened wider. Cannot. Too weak. Above them, Jake heard the first planet-killer missiles launching. In 5 minutes, this world would be gone. Jake knelt beside Lyra. There has to be another way. Lyra's voice was barely a whisper. There is, but you will not like it. Tell me. Share your life force with me, she said. Give me half your energy. We both live. We both have power. Jake understood immediately. But then we'd both be weaker. We might not have enough power to stop the missiles. Together? We might, Lyra said. Apart, we will definitely fail. Jake heard Admiral Stone's voice from the tunnel. Backup teams, move in. The Guardian is alone. More soldiers were coming. Jake had maybe 2 minutes before they arrived. If we share the power and it's not enough, Jake said, we both die and the planet dies with us. Lyra managed a small smile. Then we die together, like we live together, protecting others. Jake looked at her. This woman had given up everything to protect him. She had shown him that he didn't have to face the galaxy alone. Why, Jake asked. Why are you willing to risk everything for people you don't even know? Lyra's eyes filled with tears. Because someone has to. Because if we don't protect the innocent, who will? Jake thought about his wife Maria and daughter Emma. They had died because no one was there to protect them. He thought about all the people on this planet who would die if he failed. "You're right," Jake said. "Someone has to." He placed his hands on Lyra's chest and began to share his life energy with her. The power flowed out of him and into her body. Lyra gasped as strength returned to her limbs. Her purple eyes began to glow again, but Jake felt himself getting weaker. "Enough," Lyra said. "We are equal now." They both stood up. Jake felt different. Not as powerful as before, but not alone either. He could feel Lyra's strength beside him. "Can we destroy the missiles with half power each?" Jake asked. "I don't know," Lyra said honestly, "but I know we cannot do it apart." Heavy footsteps echoed in the tunnels. Admiral Stone's backup teams were almost here. Jake and Lyra stood together at the life bond machine. They placed their hands on the controls at the same time. "Together?" Jake asked. "Together," Lyra said. They reached out with their combined minds toward the missiles falling from the sky. Jake felt their power joining, becoming something new, something stronger than either of them alone. But was it strong enough? The first planet-killer missile was 30 seconds from impact. "Now or never," Jake said. "For everyone we couldn't save before," Lyra said. "For everyone we can save now," Jake replied. They released their power toward the sky. In the tunnel behind them, Admiral Stone's soldiers began their attack. Above them, the missiles continued falling toward the planet. Jake and Lyra stood together, giving everything they had to save a world full of strangers. It would either be enough or it would be the end. The caves were cold and dark. Jake and Lyra ran deeper underground while the sounds of battle echoed from above. Water dripped from the ceiling like tears. Their footsteps splashed through shallow pools. "How much farther?" Jake asked. His breathing was heavy from running. "Almost there," Lyra said. Her eyes glowed softly in the darkness, helping them see the path ahead. They turned a corner and stopped. In front of them was a massive door made of black metal. Strange symbols covered its surface. The symbols glowed with blue light. "This is it," Lyra whispered. "The weapon is inside." Jake touched the door. It felt warm despite the cold air around them. "How do we open it?" "Together," Lyra said. She placed her hand next to his on the door. "The weapon only opens for two people who trust each other completely." The symbols began to glow brighter. The door made a deep humming sound. Slowly it began to open. Inside was a round room with smooth walls. In the center stood a strange machine. It looked like two chairs connected by wires and crystal tubes. Blue energy flowed through the tubes like liquid lightning. "The life bond machine," Lyra said quietly. "It will connect our minds and our life force. Together, we will have the power to destroy General Vex's fleet." Jake walked around the machine. "It looked dangerous, deadly, and one of us will die." "Yes," Lyra said. "The machine takes the life energy from one person and gives it to the other. The survivor becomes powerful enough to control the weapon." Jake heard explosions from above. The enemy was getting closer to the caves. Time was running out. "Let's do it," Jake said. He sat down in one of the chairs. "Wait," Lyra said. She sat in the other chair but did not touch any controls. "Before we begin, we must understand each other completely. The machine requires total trust." "I trust you," Jake said. "No," Lyra said sadly. "You do not know me well enough to trust me, and I do not know you, but the machine will show us everything about each other. Every memory, every secret, every pain." Jake felt nervous. "Everything?" "Everything," Lyra said. "Are you ready to see who I really am? Are you ready to let me see who you really are?" Jake thought about his past, the mistakes he had made, the people he had failed to save, the guilt he carried every day. Did he want Lyra to see all of that? Another explosion shook the caves. Dust fell from the ceiling. "We don't have a choice," Jake said. "Let's do this." They both placed their hands on the machine's controls at the same time. Pain shot through Jake's head like lightning. Then suddenly he was not in the caves anymore. He was standing in Lyra's memories. He saw a beautiful planet with silver cities and purple skies. He saw Lyra as a child, playing with other children who had the same purple eyes. He felt her happiness, her love for her family. Then the scene changed. Jake saw warships attacking Lyra's planet. He saw her people fighting and dying. He felt her fear as enemy soldiers killed her parents. He experienced her pain as she watched her entire clan get destroyed. They were hunting a guardian, Lyra's voice whispered in his mind. The guardian had come to our planet for help. We protected him, so they killed everyone I loved. Jake felt tears on his face. The pain was so real, so deep. Now he understood why Lyra wanted to protect him. She knew what it felt like to lose everything. Then Jake felt Lyra in his memories. She saw his wife Maria laughing in their kitchen. She saw his little daughter Emma running toward him with her arms open. She felt his love for his family warm and complete. Then she saw the pirate attack. She experienced Jake's helplessness as he watched his family die while he was away on a Guardian mission. She felt his guilt, his anger, his broken heart. "You blame yourself," Lyra's voice said gently. "But it was not your fault." "I should have been there to protect them," Jake said. "You were protecting other families," Lyra replied. "Just like you are protecting this planet now." They saw more memories. Jake's first day as a Guardian, his pride in helping people, his friends Marcus and Sarah laughing and fighting beside him. Then their deaths and Jake's terrible loneliness. Lyra showed him her training with the Shadow Clan, her promise to protect the last Guardian, her journey across the galaxy to find Jake, her determination to not let another Guardian die alone. "We are the same, you and I," Lyra said. "We have both lost everyone we loved. We both carry guilt we do not deserve. We both fight to protect others because we could not protect our own families." Jake felt something change inside him. The pain was still there, but now he was not alone with it. Lyra understood him completely, and he understood her. "I'm not afraid to die," Jake said. "But I am afraid to let you die." "And I'm afraid to let you die," Lyra replied. "So we must trust the machine to decide." The energy in the machine grew stronger. Jake felt his life force beginning to flow through the crystal tubes. He felt Lyra's energy flowing too. "Whatever happens," Lyra said, "know that protecting you has given my life meaning." "Whatever happens," Jake said, "know that meeting you has made me whole again." The machine began to choose which one would live and which one would die. Jake squeezed Lyra's hand and prepared for the end. The machine's energy flowed between Jake and Lyra like liquid fire. Jake felt his life force being pulled from his body. But then something strange happened. Instead of taking his energy, the machine began taking Lyra's. "No!" Jake shouted. He tried to pull his hands away from the controls, but the machine held them in place. Lyra's face went pale. Her purple eyes began to fade. "Jake, it's okay. This is how it must be. I won't let you die for me." Jake fought against the machine's power. "You cannot stop it," Lyra said weakly. "The machine has chosen. Use the power well." Energy poured into Jake's body. He felt stronger than ever before. His mind expanded. He could sense every ship in General Vex's fleet above them. He could feel their weapons, their shields, their weak points. But Lyra was dying. Jake broke free from the machine and caught her as she fell. Her skin was cold. Her breathing was shallow. "Stay with me," Jake whispered. "I cannot," Lyra said. "But the power is yours now. Save this planet, Jake Turner. Be the Guardian you were meant to be." Her eyes closed. Jake felt her heartbeat getting weaker. Suddenly, the cave shook. Someone was breaking through the entrance. Jake heard voices echoing down the tunnels. "Guardian Turner," a familiar voice called out. "Are you down there?" Jake's eyes widened. He knew that voice. It belonged to Admiral Stone, his commanding officer, the leader of all Guardian forces. "Admiral?" Jake called back. He gently laid Lyra on the ground and stood up. "How did you find me?" Admiral Stone appeared at the entrance to the weapon chamber. He was a tall man with gray hair and cold blue eyes. Behind him came 20 Guardian soldiers in full armor. "Thank the stars you're alive, Jake," Admiral Stone said. He looked around the chamber with interest. "We came as soon as we heard about General Vex's attack." Jake felt confused. "But how did you know where I was?" "I never sent my location to Guardian Command. We have ways of tracking our people," Admiral Stone said. His eyes focused on the life bond machine. "What is this device?" "It's a weapon," Jake said. "Powerful enough to destroy Vex's entire fleet," Admiral Stone smiled. It was not a warm smile. "Excellent. Step aside, Guardian. My team will handle this." "No need," Jake said. "I have the power now. I can stop Vex myself." "I'm sure you can," Admiral Stone said. "But first, hand over the alien." Jake looked down at Lyra. She was barely breathing. "She's dying, Admiral. She sacrificed herself to give me the power to fight." "Perfect," Admiral Stone said coldly. "Then she won't be able to cause any more trouble." Something in the Admiral's voice made Jake suspicious. "What do you mean, trouble?" Admiral Stone's smile grew wider. Did you really think we didn't know about her, Jake? Did you think we didn't know about the Shadow Clan? Jake felt a chill run down his spine. How do you know about the Shadow Clan? Because we've been hunting them for 50 years, Admiral Stone said. They're dangerous, Jake. They pretend to protect Guardians, but they're really spies. They steal our secrets and sell them to our enemies. That's not true, Jake said. Lyra saved my life. She saved your life, so you would trust her, Admiral Stone said. So you would reveal Guardian secrets to her. Tell me, Jake, what did she learn about our operations? Jake remembered the mind link with Lyra. She had seen all of his memories, all of his knowledge about Guardian bases, weapons, and tactics. She saw everything, Jake whispered. Exactly, Admiral Stone said. And now she needs to die before she can report back to her handlers. Guardian Turner, the computer said in its mechanical voice. I am detecting a large fleet approaching this planet. Estimated arrival time 2 hours. Jake felt his blood turn to ice. How large? 1,000 ships, the computer said. Configuration matches the Dark Empire fleet. Warning, this is a military invasion force. Jake's legs felt weak. The Dark Empire was the most evil organization in the galaxy. They destroyed entire planets for fun. If they were coming here, everyone would die. Why would the Dark Empire come to this small planet? Jake asked. Lyra's face went white. They are coming for you, Jake Turner. Someone told them where you are. Jake grabbed his weapons. We have to evacuate the people. Get them off planet before... There is no time, Lyra interrupted. 1,000 ships carry 1 million soldiers. We cannot fight them with your broken ship in my bare hands. Jake felt hopeless. Then everyone here will die because of me. Lyra put her hand on his shoulder. Not if we use the weapon. What weapon? Lyra's eyes began to glow purple again. The weapon my people hid on this planet 50 years ago. The weapon we saved in case the last Guardian needed it. Jake stared at her. What kind of weapon? The kind that can destroy 1,000 ships, Lyra said. But it is hidden in the deep caves beneath this planet, and the path to it is very dangerous. Jake looked outside. He could see tiny dots in the sky getting bigger. The Dark Empire fleet was coming early. How dangerous? Jake asked. Lyra smiled, but it was not a happy smile. The kind of dangerous that kills most people who try. But you are not most people, Jake Turner. You are a Guardian. Jake checked his weapons one more time. Then let's go get this weapon. Together? Lyra asked. Jake looked at her. She had already saved his life once. Maybe it was time to trust someone again. Together, he said. But as they ran toward the caves, Jake wondered if he was making a terrible mistake. Who was Lyra, really? And why did he feel like she was not telling him everything? The sky above them grew dark with enemy ships. The sky turned black with enemy ships. Jake had never seen so many vessels in one place. They covered the sun like a swarm of metal insects. The peaceful planet was about to become a battlefield. Move, Lyra shouted. She grabbed Jake's arm and pulled him toward the forest. Behind them, the first enemy ships began landing. Jake could hear the sound of boots hitting the ground. Thousands of soldiers were already searching for him. The caves are 1 mile through the forest, Lyra said as they ran. We must hurry. Jake's communication device buzzed again. He almost ignored it, but the signal was different. It was a direct transmission from the largest enemy ship. Guardian Turner, a deep voice said. I know you can hear me. Jake stopped running. He knew that voice. It belonged to General Vex, the most dangerous leader in the Dark Empire. Keep running, Lyra whispered. Do not listen to him. But Jake pressed the answer button. I hear you, Vex. What do you want? General Vex laughed. It was a cold, evil sound. What I have wanted for 20 years, Guardian. Your death. Why? Jake asked. I never did anything to you personally. Never did anything. Vex's voice became angry. You Guardians destroyed my home planet. You killed my wife, my children. My entire family died because of your so-called justice. Jake felt confused. Guardians protected innocent people. They never destroyed planets. That's impossible. Guardians don't kill innocent people. Innocent? Vex screamed. You called us pirates. You said we were criminals. But we were just trying to survive after our planet's resources ran out. Jake remembered now. 20 years ago, he was part of a Guardian team that stopped a group of raiders. They had been attacking cargo ships and stealing food supplies. The Guardians chased them back to their home planet. Your people were stealing from trade ships, Jake said. Killing innocent merchants. We were starving. Vex replied. Our crops had failed. Our children were dying. We asked the galaxy for help, but no one cared. So we took what we needed to survive. Jake felt a pain in his chest. He remembered what happened next. The Guardian fleet had surrounded Vex's planet. They demanded the raiders surrender. But someone on the planet fired first. The battle that followed destroyed most of the cities. We tried to avoid civilian casualties, Jake said quietly. Tried? Vex laughed bitterly. My 5-year-old daughter was in her bed when your bombs fell. My wife was in the hospital taking care of sick people. You killed them all and called it justice. Lyra pulled on Jake's arm. We must keep moving. Talking will not change the past. But Jake stood still. The weight of what happened 20 years ago felt heavy on his shoulders. Maybe the Guardians had made mistakes. Maybe they had been too quick to use violence. I'm sorry about your family, Jake said into the communicator. But that doesn't give you the right to hurt innocent people now. Innocent? Vex said. Like the people on this planet who are hiding you. They chose their side when they helped a Guardian. Now they will pay the price. Jake heard explosions in the distance. The Dark Empire was attacking the town. The people who had welcomed Jake were now dying because of him. Leave them alone, Jake shouted. Your fight is with me. Yes, Vex said. My fight is with you. But they chose to help you, so they must die too. That is how war works, Guardian. You taught me that 20 years ago. More explosions. More screams in the distance. Lyra grabbed Jake's face and made him look at her. You cannot save them by standing here feeling guilty. The only way to help them is to reach the weapon. Jake looked into her purple eyes. She was right. Guilt would not bring back Vex's family. It would not save the people dying in the town. Only action could do that. How much farther to the caves? Jake asked. 1/2 mile, Lyra said. But Jake, there is something I must tell you about the weapon. They started running again. Enemy soldiers were getting closer. Jake could hear them shouting orders and crashing through the trees behind them. What about the weapon? Jake asked as they ran. It is very powerful, Lyra said. Powerful enough to destroy General Vex's entire fleet, but it requires 2 people to operate it. That's fine. You and me. Lyra looked sad. Jake, the weapon draws its power from life force. The 2 people who use it, one of them will die. Jake almost stopped running again. What do you mean? The weapon needs a life to power it, Lyra explained. It will take everything from one person and give it to the other. The survivor gets the power to destroy the fleet. The other person dies. Jake felt sick. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because you would have said no, Lyra said. Because you would have tried to find another way. But there is no other way, Jake Turner. Someone must sacrifice their life to save this planet. They reached the entrance to the caves. It was a dark hole in the side of a mountain. Jake could hear water dripping somewhere deep inside. Behind them, the sound of enemy soldiers was getting louder. We could run, Jake said. Escape to another planet. And let General Vex destroy this world? Lyra asked. Let him kill millions of innocent people. Is that what a Guardian does? Jake looked back toward the town. Smoke was rising from several buildings. People were dying. People who had shown him kindness were paying the price for helping him. No, Jake said. That's not what a Guardian does. He looked at Lyra. She had risked her life to protect him. Now she was willing to die for him. I'll be the one who dies, Jake said. You're young. You have a whole life ahead of you. Lyra smiled sadly. We will see what the weapon decides, Jake Turner. Sometimes the choice is not ours to make. They entered the dark caves together. Jake had a terrible feeling that only one of them would come out alive. The stars exploded in bright flashes of fire. Captain Jake Turner watched his friends die one by one. Their ships turned into burning metal in the cold darkness of space. Guardian Base, this is Jake Turner, he shouted into his radio. My team is gone. I need help. Only silence answered him back. Jake's hands shook as he flew his damaged ship away from the battle. Red warning lights flashed all around him. His ship was dying too. Smoke filled the air inside. The engine made terrible sounds. He was the last one, the last Guardian of Sector 7. For 10 years, Jake had protected this part of the galaxy. He and his team fought against pirates, aliens, and anyone who hurt innocent people. But now his team was dead. His best friend Marcus was dead. His partner Sarah was dead. Everyone was gone. Jake was alone. His radio suddenly made a sound. A new message was coming in. Guardian Turner, do you hear me? The voice was soft and female. "Yes, I hear you," Jake said. "Who is this?" "My name is not important right now. You need to come to planet Zara 5 immediately. Lives are in danger." Jake looked at his broken ship. "My ship is damaged. I can barely fly. You must try, Guardian. People are counting on you. You are the last hope." Jake closed his eyes. He was tired. So very tired. But people needed help. That was his job. That was what Guardians did. "I'm coming," he said. The trip to planet Zara 5 took 6 hours. Jake's ship almost died 3 times. But he made it. The planet was beautiful. Green forests and blue oceans covered the surface. It looked peaceful. Jake landed his ship near a small town. The people here looked human but had different colored skin, some blue, some silver, some gold. They watched him with hope in their eyes. "Where is the danger?" Jake asked them. An old man with blue skin pointed to a large building. "She is waiting for you inside, Guardian." Jake walked to the building. It was very quiet, too quiet. He put his hand on his gun. Something felt wrong. He opened the door and went inside. The room was dark except for one light in the center. Under the light stood the most beautiful woman Jake had ever seen. She was tall with long black hair and pale white skin. Her eyes were the color of deep purple jewels. But she was not human. "Guardian Turner," she said. Her voice was the same one from the radio. "I have been waiting for you. Who are you?" Jake asked. He kept his hand near his gun. "My name is Lyra," she said. "I have been sent to protect you." Jake almost laughed. "Protect me? Lady, I protect entire star systems. What could you possibly protect me from?" Lyra stepped closer. She moved like water, smooth and quiet. "You are the last Guardian, Jake Turner. Many people want you dead. My job is to make sure that does not happen." "I work alone," Jake said. "Not anymore," Lyra said. "I will stay with you always, even when you sleep, especially when you sleep." Jake felt uncomfortable. "Look, I appreciate the offer, but I don't need a babysitter. I can take care of myself." Lyra's purple eyes looked sad. "Your friends thought the same thing. Where are they now?" The words hit Jake like a punch. His friends were dead because they thought they were strong enough. Maybe they were wrong. "What makes you think you can protect me?" Jake asked. "Because it is what I was born to do," Lyra said. "My people have protected Guardians for thousands of years. We know how to keep you safe." "Your people? What are you?" Before Lyra could answer, Jake heard a sound. A small sound like a boot stepping on glass. They were not alone. Jake pulled out his gun fast. Lyra moved even faster. Her eyes suddenly glowed bright red like fire. She pushed Jake behind her. "Get down!" she shouted. Dark shapes jumped from the shadows. 5 figures dressed in black. They had guns and knives, assassins. "Kill the Guardian," one of them yelled. Jake raised his gun to fight, but Lyra was already moving. She moved so fast that Jake could barely see her. Her hands became deadly weapons. In 3 seconds, she broke the first assassin's neck. In 5 seconds, she threw the second one across the room. In 10 seconds, all 5 assassins were on the floor, dead. Jake stared at her with his mouth open. "What? What are you?" Lyra's eyes stopped glowing. She looked normal again, but Jake now knew she was anything but normal. "I am from the Shadow Clan," she said calmly. "We are made to protect what matters most in the galaxy. And you think I matter most? You are the last Guardian, Jake Turner. Without you, evil will spread across the stars like poison. Yes, you matter most." Jake looked at the dead assassins. Then he looked at Lyra. Maybe he did need protection. Maybe working alone was not smart anymore. "Okay," he said. "But we do this my way," Lyra smiled. It was a beautiful smile. "Of course, Guardian. But remember, I will be watching, always." Jake felt a chill go down his back. He had a feeling his life was about to change forever. Jake stared at the dead assassins on the floor. Blood was everywhere. 5 trained killers were dead in less than 10 seconds, and the woman who killed them looked like she had just finished drinking tea. "How did you do that?" Jake asked. His voice was quiet with shock. Lyra wiped a small drop of blood from her hand. "I told you. I am from the Shadow Clan. We are built different. Built different how?" Lyra looked at him with those strange purple eyes. "We are faster than normal people, stronger. Our bones are harder. Our reflexes are perfect. We feel no fear when we fight." Jake walked around the dead bodies. These were not common criminals. They had military weapons, professional gear. "Who were these people?" "Hired killers," Lyra said. "They have been tracking you for weeks. Ever since your team died, the word went out. Kill the last Guardian and get paid 1,000,000 credits. Jake felt cold. 1,000,000 credits. Who wants me dead that badly? Many people, Lyra said sadly. You have made enemies, Jake Turner. Every pirate you stopped. Every corrupt official you arrested. Every evil alien you fought. They all want revenge. Jake sat down on a chair. His head was spinning. So what now? I hide for the rest of my life? No, Lyra said firmly. You continue being a Guardian. But now you have protection. Jake looked at her again. She was beautiful, yes. But now he saw something else in her eyes. Something dangerous. Something deadly. Why do you care if I live or die? Jake asked. You don't even know me. Lyra was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke very softly. My clan has a debt to the Guardians. Long ago, your people saved our world from destruction. We promised to always protect the last Guardian when the time came. The last Guardian, Jake repeated. You knew this would happen? Our wise women saw it in visions, Lyra said. They saw the great battle. They saw your friends dying. They saw you alone and hunted. So they sent me. Jake stood up. Look, I appreciate what you did here, but I can't have someone following me around all the time. Guardians work alone. Not anymore, Lyra said. Her voice was firm like stone. The old ways are dead, Jake Turner. Your friends worked alone. Where are they now? Jake felt anger rise in his chest. Don't talk about my friends. I speak truth, Lyra said. They died because they were proud, because they thought they needed no help. Will you make the same mistake? Jake walked to the window. Outside, he could see the peaceful town. Normal people living normal lives. They counted on Guardians to keep them safe. If I let you protect me, Jake said, what does that mean exactly? I go where you go, Lyra said. I watch for danger. I sleep in the same room to guard you at night. I am your shadow until the threats are gone. Jake turned around fast. Sleep in the same room? Absolutely not. Lyra crossed her arms. Assassins attack at night when people sleep. That is when you are most vulnerable. I must be close to protect you. Find another way, Jake said. There is no other way, Lyra said. Either I stay close or you die. It is simple. Jake and Lyra stared at each other. Neither wanted to give up. Suddenly, Jake's communication device started beeping. He pressed a button and a hologram appeared. It was his ship's computer.